Hello Westview, my name is Mr. Nitka and I'm part of your counseling team. Before registration, we wanted to go over some points and tips that might help you in this upcoming registration. So for some of you, this is a new experience. And with the new experience, we kind of wanted to give you an idea of what you need to do. So first of all, there's 3 parts to this. There's the part that you need to fill out on your registration form, the part your parents need to fill out, and the part your teacher needs to fill out. So for you freshmen, you're going to take this form and you're going to make sure that, first of all, that everything on the back here is completed. Your parents are definitely going to need to sign this part here, okay? Then you're going to sit down with them and you're going to have a nice little conference, a little family meeting, and you're going to go over some of the classes that you think you need and think you want. You're especially going to want to put down the electives, and you're going to rank them from the 1st through the 6th on how you want them to appear on your schedule. Now, we certainly won't be able to give you all of them, but if one class is filled, we'll go to the next class so that you get as close to what you want as we can. Now, the next part, even though you might check something on here that might be the class that you want, you have to make sure that your teacher approves it. And they'll approve it by putting a little signature next to it. That's going to really be a big help, because that way we know if you've completed the registration prerequisites. Okay? For you sophomores going into junior year, it's going to be important that you, again, rank your electives. And the biggest questions that we typically get are questions about which science you should take. And that's going to be answered most likely by what you're planning to go into in the future, university-wise, and then as well as what your teacher recommends. So if you're interested in maybe an AP Bio, you want to talk to your teacher and say, hey, do I fit into this class? If you're looking to take an advanced class for the first time or an AP class, definitely talk to your English teachers as well and find out if that's going to fit with where you're at. Now, it's really important to think about advanced classes in how you're going to get graded. So typically what I would say is if you can get an A or B in your advanced class, then you should probably take it. But if you're looking at getting a C, that's probably not a good idea, and I'd rather see you get an A or a B in a regular or typical class. And the universities actually want you to get an A or B in a class. They don't necessarily want to see C's in advanced classes, so make sure you take that into consideration. Okay, for you juniors becoming seniors, the biggest thing I have and the biggest problem that comes up is that you guys don't put electives down. And you say, hey, Mr. Nitka, I want to have a release, or I want to be a TA, and that's great. And we're going to do our best to make sure that you get that. However, we can't do that until the next year. So when you guys come through walkthrough before school starts, or right when school starts, you should be thinking about grabbing the release paper, making sure that you qualify, as well as finding a teacher that you would be happy with being a TA for, and the teacher should also feel happy with you being a TA for them, okay? So, what we're going to do now is we're going to show you some vignettes, and these vignettes are going to be performed by our counselors, and they might be a little funny, but they're also going to give you a lot of good information on common questions that we come up on. And here's another tip that I'm going to give you. Registration is in November. You guys have another 8 months before you graduate, or I'm sorry, not graduate, but graduate into the next year. So what you want to think about is your plans might change. And if they change, or you find out that the class that you thought you wanted is not the class that you need, then I would expect you guys to come in and talk to your counselors in April. That's a great time to set things up and to figure out if the classes that you chose in November are going to fit your fall schedule. The other thing I would also say is if you change your mind over the summer, make sure that you're coming to the summer walkthrough, okay? That's going to be your last opportunity to change electives and to move certain classes so that you get exactly what you need. I wish you the best this year. Hopefully you guys will come through and everything will be okay, but if you're still confused, make sure that you come and see your counselor after your registration in the next couple months so that we can get you all squared away.
Hi, Ms. Anderson.
What's up?
I have a question. I'm trying to register for classes next year, and I don't know what English class I should take. My teacher recommended me that I take regular English, but I really like the advanced class.
Okay, so what are you getting in your English class right now?
Like a C or a D, like a high D.
Okay. So the reason why your teacher said that recommended you for regular English, you said, right? Is because even though the advanced class, counts for the grade above, a lot of universities go off of your unweighted GPA, and so it's kind of a balance. So we say that if you want to be in an advanced class, if you're getting an A and a B or a B in an advanced class, then that's where you belong. If you're getting C's and D's in advanced classes, it would be better to take a regular class and get an A or a B, because universities like to see a mixture, that you're challenging yourself and you're pushing yourself, but they also don't want to see a transcript full of C's and D's.
But what if I really think I can do it? I'm gonna work hard, I'm gonna do everything I can, do my homework, study.
How would you feel about if we waited just to see, because it is only November, and you said you're getting a C, D, so let's see how you finish out this semester and how you're doing next semester, because this is just kind of a baseline for what classes you want to take. We don't have to make a final decision until May. So let's see if you work really hard, go to tutoring, get that grade up, and then maybe come back to me in April or May, and we'll see where you're at, and then pick a class at that point.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Anderson.
Hi, Monica. Hey. So I heard you had some questions about the upcoming registration. What can I help you with?
Yeah, so I was just, do we need Spanish to graduate?
Depends. You do have to have 2 years of Spanish if you want to go directly to a university. It's not a graduation requirement. Okay, you do have to have the 6 electives, and the Spanish counts as an elective, but it's not required if you're going to go to a community college or straight to the military or a trade school. But if you're thinking at all that you want to go to a straight to a university, then you do have to have the 2 years of foreign language, because it's a university requirement.
Okay, but I speak Spanish at home, so do you think I should just take native Spanish?
Do you, so you speak it fluently and understand it fluently?
Well, I do. I mean, like, I understand when my parents are talking, and I can talk to my friends, but I don't know how to spell anything or accents or any of that
Okay,
stuff.
so that's kind of the difference between regular and native. The native class is taught primarily in Spanish, and it's focusing more on learning how to read and write, but you really have to have a full understanding, both speaking and understanding of Spanish.
Okay. I think I'd like to try that. And then my other question is, because I didn't do so well freshman year, so I was wondering if one of my electives be credit retrieval. My friend has that. And
Yeah, so not as a junior,
Oh.
because as a senior. So we do offer that for seniors,
Okay.
and you probably wouldn't be a candidate if you've only failed one class. Or did you fail it, or you just didn't do well?
No, I failed.
Failed it. Okay. So credit retrieval is more for those students who won't be able to graduate on time. They could fail
okay.
multiple classes. So if you've only failed one class, you're going to need to go to summer school,
Oh.
or you could retake that your senior year in place of an elective, or we could look and see how you're doing with your electives. You could take it this year possibly
Okay.
instead of an elective, but you wouldn't be a candidate for credit retrieval,
Oh,
unfortunately.
man. Okay, but credit retrieval, it's just like usually my family, we go away over the summer,
Okay.
and it's expensive, so how?
Well, there's other options. So yes, you wouldn't be able to go away if you did summer school here, but Primavera is an online high school,
Oh,
and you can take online classes from them during the summer.
I can.
yeah,
I
so
thought
you
somebody
can't-
said you couldn't.
Yeah, you can't do it during the school year because you can't be enrolled at 2
Oh.
high schools. But over
Okay.
the summer, that would definitely be a great alternative for you if you want to take that class over the summer.
Okay.
Because as long as you have internet access and you're traveling, you can get online and work on your class anywhere.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks,
So
Miss Anderson.
you're welcome. See you later.
Okay, see you later. Let me
MSA.
Hey, Stephanie. Hey, do you mind taking your earbuds out just so we can?
Oh yeah, for sure. So okay, this whole elective choices thing, I've got to figure out, because I'm a senior next year, so I'm kind of awesome that way. But I know that I'm on track to graduate. Like, my transcript looks awesome, and I think I just want to take a TA and get a release, because I just don't have time to take all these classes I don't need. So I just left the electives blank.
Okay. Well, you're gonna need to fill out, pick at least 4 to 6 electives. We're happy to discuss the TA and the early release, but that won't happen until next year because there are some qualifying things. You have to find a teacher to TA for. In order for release, you have to have a form signed by your parents giving you approval. You have to have a certain grade point average. We look at your attendance and stuff, so that's not just a given. It's a privilege, you know. But you're a great student, so I'm sure you'll get a release. But at this point, we can't do that until next year. So you're gonna need to fill out 4 to 6, ranking them and just knowing that you're probably going to end up dropping both of them, but that won't be until next year.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. My friend's taking culinary. Can I take culinary 1 too?
So not as a senior, for taking the entry-level classes. I'm guessing your friend's not a senior. Yeah. So normally, we don't have seniors take an entry-level class, CTE class like that, because we like you to be completers, and you have to have 2 years of a CTE class. So if you've already started a CTE class, you've already had 1, 2 of a class, you're welcome to take 3, 4 of that same class. But we usually prefer seniors not to take an entry-level class.
Okay. Well, okay. Then I had just had one other question. My teacher told me, my biology teacher told me I could take either chemistry or anatomy, and they just said whichever one I want to do. So I don't really know what the differences are, like which one I should take. I've heard chemistry is really hard, so I didn't really want to take that one, but
One's not necessarily harder than the other. It just depends on your interest and what subjects you're strongest in. So anatomy is there'll be more terminology, so more memorizing vocabulary, more reading, more writing in anatomy. It's closer to biology, except for it's focused on the human body. Where chemistry has more math in it, more algebra. So what did you get in algebra 1 and 2 when you took it? Are you fairly strong in math?
yeah, I actually got I got like an A one semester and a B another semester, so.
So chemistry focuses on the periodic table, and you get to do really cool labs with mixing chemicals and having them fizz and do all that stuff. Where the anatomy, is more terminology and studying the human body.
All right. Well, I think I'll go with chemistry then for my science, and then I'll finish filling out my. How many? I was supposed to have 4 electives. Or yeah. Okay. So I'll fill out like 4 electives, and then I'll finish my sheet before I turn it in. Okay. Thanks, Miss Anderson.
Bye.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my back.